Hi, I'm Vivian the Knitter.
And I'm Allison the Crocheter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 52 of Keep Calm and Carry On, a knitting and crocheting podcast brought to you by me, Vivian, and my daughter, Allison. I'm coming at you from a parking lot at McDonald's by my house.
And I'm recording from my home here in Scotland. So, this is just evidence of our commitment to our audience that my mom doesn't have any Wi Fi in her new house yet, so she is sitting outside of McDonald's, stealing their Wi Fi.
I'm literally sitting with my back against the wall at the on the patio because the Wi-Fi doesn't reach my car where it's quieter. So as soon as I leave the patio, I lose Wi-Fi.
Oh, God. So, apologies in advance if this episode has a bit more background noise than normal. Although my side should be fine. It'll just be your
It's always
side.
my side.
Uh, anyway, right.
So if you hear any ambulances this time, it's coming from my
Yeah,
side and
well,
not
it's
your
not
side.
ambulances that go by me. Mostly it's fire trucks because I live just down from the fire station. But yeah, so apologies in advance, but thank you for joining us anyway. Any new listeners, returning listeners, everybody, and special thank yous to two people who said hi to us on Ravelry in the past few weeks. We've got Chris, who on Ravelry is Meeting Knitter, and both her and her mom can both knit and crochet, so they are like a level up from us.
They're by
Yeah.
craftual.
And then Hope Selena on Ravelry has just been getting into knitting and crochet podcasts, and she said hi as well. So
Hello.
I recommended the crochet circle. Just that I think that's like my ultimate, my one like favorite crochet podcast. Not podcasts. Not that I don't love any other ones, but I think Faye just does such a good job with being fun and funny, but also educational. Because that's one thing that we've got our Momopedia, but I think that
We're
we
not
don't.
too
No,
educational.
we don't go about it in a way that that's what our main objective is to be. Whereas Faye will do, well, she's got her old dog new tricks things, and she'll actually like, not in a scientific way, but actually experiment with things to like tell people about new techniques or whatever. Anyway.
And she has a great accent.
Right. So this week's BuzzFeed quiz I picked, and just straight off the bat, we are not a sponsor because this BuzzFeed quiz was obviously written by somebody on the Johnny Walker whiskey marketing team, but it's you. You have a whiskey cocktail that matches your personality. This quiz will tell you what it is. Um, but I thought it was semi-appropriate because I'm in Scotland and, whiskey. Not that you wouldn't drink whiskey, would you?
Not
But would
really.
you drink a whiskey cocktail?
Probably. So I got an elderflower highball. You care about the earth and the people in it more than anything. Your affinity for nature and being at home with the people you love means that your drink of choice has to be the perfect combination of earthy and fragrant. And that's exactly what the elderflower highball is. Elderflower cordial, soda water, and Johnny Walker Black Label all combined with lots of ice to make a drink that's ideal for the loving dreamer like yourself.
I think you would like. I like elderflower flavored things. I think you
Yeah,
do
I
as
like
well.
elderflower wine.
I'm gonna read mine and take out the reference to Johnny Walker. Just make it generic whiskey. So I got lemon highball. You have a zest for life, and your perfect cocktail is nothing short of zest. This simple yet lively combination of lemonade and whiskey, garnished with lemon peel and Thai basil, is the ultimate tipple for a social butterfly like yourself. You love going out and being the center of attention. Don't know about that. Telling your hilarious stories and jokes. You're certainly not shy of the spotlight, and neither is this highball. So I'm not. I don't think I don't need to be the center of attention. But I have found that not being the shy person that I was when I was younger, I do enjoy talking about myself. But yeah, and just as I assume lemonade, because in the UK, a lemonade generally refers to like more like what you would think of as a Sprite, rather than what we think of as juice made from lemons. Yeah.
Well, drink made from lemon juice.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so okay. So the first question is, where's your favorite place to enjoy a drink? And I said a cute and cozy pub.
I did too.
Yeah, I think my second would be a rooftop bar with a view.
Yeah, I was vacillating between the two of those. Well, what is your Earth, Wind, or Fire?
Did you answer this right? You're supposed to put what zodiac sign you are.
Oh, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
did it
because
right.
we're both water. Because you're
Yeah,
Cancer,
yeah,
right?
I'm water.
Yeah, and I'm Scorpio. And actually, Emily's is Pisces, so three of us are water. What about your ultimate travel experience? Because first off, I'm going to say you definitely didn't pick abseiling down Table Mountain in South Africa.
No, I didn't.
And I think you probably didn't pick the taking in the wintry wildness of Finland on a snowmobile safari.
I would have picked the wintry wilderness if it wasn't for the
Yeah, that,
snowmobile safari.
say that word again.
Snowmobile.
Snowmobiles.
Snowmobile.
Uh,
I picked kayaking through the jungle
yeah.
in Costa Rica.
So did I. Okay, wait. We gotta find one that's different. Street food? Did you go for pizza?
Uh, nope. The lemon kafka kebab.
The lamb, not lemon.
The lamb kafka
I
kebab.
can't read to talk today. Okay, that's different because I picked the tacos. But my second was gonna be the poke bowl.
I did that once, and raw food from a food truck is probably not a good idea for me anymore because I had tummy troubles.
A difficult
Yes.
time. Well, what about the last question was tell us what your favorite scent is between freshly cut grass, a spice market, citrus, and candy cane.
You can't guess what I picked?
Spice market? Citrus?
No, freshly cut grass.
Oh. Oh, well that goes makes sense with that's I feel like that probably goes with the elderflower one because that's the whole like
Mm,
earthy
yeah, I
nature.
guess so.
Whereas mine probably citrus fruits probably goes with the cocktail, but I picked spice market.
Mm. That would have been a good second for me.
Yeah, I don't mind like I've got one bottle of whiskey here because my coworkers in Boston got it for me as a going away present. It's from distilled in Boston, so that's where they got it. Not because they have I don't know where they got the idea that I drink whiskey. I think they just got the idea that I drink. So they're like, oh, get her a bottle of whiskey. Or maybe they're like, oh, she's going to Scotland. We'll get her some American whiskey. So I've got this bottle and had it for years now. And it's like halfway gone now because I've taken to making like a autumnal sort of like whiskey sour. So I'll do like the whiskey and fresh squeezed lemon juice and maple syrup to sweeten and then dusted with cinnamon cinnamon. And it's good.
That sounds interesting.
It's tasty.
Oh, which Friday night activity did you pick?
That one was hard. I went for catching up with some close friends over dinner.
So we basically picked all the same things?
And no, the scent.
Okay, crafty content.
I don't have that much to talk about, so I'll let you go first.
Well, I haven't been working on my East Coast girl cardigan because I've been working on the bubbly brioche knit along. And do you remember last time when I did a brioche? I think I might have just thrown the whole thing across the room. Yeah.
Knitting tantrum.
But anyway, this one is I'm doing pretty well with it. I think Jen has really good instructions and she's got really good tutorials too, so that's helping me. I'm getting the hang of it. So I did the first section and I actually finished the first section when the second section went live that morning, and I started the second section later on in the day, and you have to do
Hmm.
5 repeats of the pattern, and I was just flying through it, and I was on the third repeat when I realized that I did one too little or one less increase during the second repeat, so I had to rip all the way back to that whole section, the whole third repeat. And ripping out brioche is not very easy, so I just girded my loins and I did it. And I put them back on the needle, so everything's good now.
So what is brioche? Like I know there's like crochet brioche as well that like mimics it, or I don't know.
It's not a bread. But basically, you're knitting two sides at once, and with two color brioche, you're carrying the back yarn as you're knitting, and there's always he always has to do a yarn over, an
Hmm.
extra yarn over, and then you're
Hmm.
only always processing two strands at a time. I don't know. It's kind of like double knitting, but not. Um, it's kind of hard to explain.
I think, I mean, like, I know what it looks like. Um, so is it thick? Is it like double?
Yeah, it's really squishy, and it's not dense, but it's thick and squishy.
So does it uses more yarn than if you were to do it normally?
Yeah, well, it uses more yarn
But
than
it's thicker, so
yes.
warmer, I suppose. So what does the actual shawl look like?
It's kind of like an elliptical shape where it's pointy on one
Elliptical.
end
Hmm.
and it gets wide and then
Hmm.
flattens out and then it thins out again. What would that be called? Like a
Like a really long leaf.
yeah. Yes, like a
Don't know.
leaf.
Slug.
What? A slug. Oh, I'm gonna tell Jen that you said that, or you described it as a slug.
Have you been following along on like Instagram or anything? Or are other people managing to keep up or
Yeah, there are other people that are keeping up. I haven't been
engaging
very good,
on social media?
Yeah, yeah, because no internet at home. Yeah, so I'm on a data diet, so
Uh-huh. Data diet.
I can't upload and I can't post pictures as often.
Uh-huh. So is that your main whip at the moment then?
Yeah, it's my main whip. I'm not really working on anything else because I'm just trying to keep up. What do you have?
Well, I just have my whip and it's still the Courbatin sweater because I'm doing the sleeves. I can't remember what where was I last time?
Weren't you working on one of the sleeves?
Nearly done with one sleeve?
Maybe? Oh, I was saying that maybe you should do the front part before you do the sleeves.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I did do the front part. No, I finished the first sleeve, and then rather than go to the second sleeve, I went to the front part. So I've got like the body done, I suppose. So the front part was done because it's overlapping, but you don't have to. It's flappy. It's overlapping, but it's all connected, and it took me a few reads of the pattern to figure it out, but it made sense in the end, and so it's done. So overlaps. The only thing I did do was I extended them for longer because I think I just didn't the gauge. My gauge wasn't quite right, and I didn't want it to be too snug fitting. So before I started the panels, I felt like what I had, which looked like a cardigan, should have covered more of my body, but really it just kind of like skimmed the side of my boobs rather than starting to cover my chest. So, which meant that I had more. So, yeah, so I filled in the front part with more. I made it wider, I suppose. Um, so I made it wider by adding some rows, but because the neck kind of, it's a deep V sort of neck. I kept for the side that's hidden underneath the other panel. I just went straight across. For the side that is exposed, where you can see the whole sweep of the neckline, I carried the decreasing the rows so that it was a nice smooth swoop angle. But then that means that I've got some gaps that I need to just sort of sew together. Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. So I just need to fix a bit of things, but yeah, it fits nicely. And then so I started the second sleeve, and well, first I started it so it matched the first sleeve, and then I looked at it and just thought, because I started a new ball of yarn I don't know, whatever ball of yarn, and it just was so much lighter than the body, so I was like, oh my god, that's annoying. So luckily I had another ball because I think I had four in total, and I had like sort of because doing it in bits, I had bits of one ball and then bits of another. So I undid it and started with the
Mhm.
other ball, so this is slightly closer in color. So I figure if I do that and then have to switch to the lighter color for the bottom bit, I'd rather have the switch down there than up by my shoulders. So I started doing that, but then I thought, you know what? I think these sleeves are too tight.
Oh no.
So I ripped it out again, and so I've made it a bit wider. Um, So it's not perfect. Like I feel like I can see where the sleeves have been, reattached
Uh-huh.
or started from, picked up. But I think a normal person, once I'm wearing it, you won't notice it. So I've started the wider sleeve. I'm like what 30 or so rows in, but then that means I have the first sleeve that I did that was narrower. So I just last night I ripped that all out because I want them both to be the wider version. So so I've got the 30 rows on the second sleeve, but then I ripped out the first sleeve. So I've started with that one, and I'm going to get that one to be even, and then just sort of work them in tandems so that I know exactly how long they can be. Because I think potentially I
Uh-huh.
could be playing a bit of yarn chicken if I were to
Oh
do a full
no.
long sleeve. So it might be slightly shorter sleeves, but if I work them at the same time, then they'll be the same length.
So the front plat is completely done then?
Yeah, the front flap is completely done, other than just sewing some bits closed.
So you're gonna have it done soon.
Yes, I will have it done soon. I brought it with me to Ireland and then didn't really work on it at all. One thing I will say is, and I think I might have said it before, this yarn is freaking impossible to frog, but it's discontinued yarn, so I suppose not that many.
Oh, is it because it's a single?
Yeah, it's a single ply. I don't know if the linen has anything to do with it or not,
That might be. I don't know.
but because with the Tunisian, one way was easier to frog than the other. The return passes were really hard to frog,
Huh.
and the forward passes were easier to frog, I think.
Um, why would that be?
I don't really know. But that's pretty much the only project I have to talk about. So, do you have any FOs?
I have one FO. I finished the triangle stocking
Ah,
for
yes.
Jillian, and I'm not sure what to do with it because we're not gonna be home for Christmas. So do I give it to her there, or do I just show her a
Well,
picture?
you can bring it over and have it as part of her Christmas gift.
Yeah,
How big is it?
just regular
Stocking size.
stocking
So does it
size.
match like the rest of the stockings?
I don't know. Since the rest of the stockings are still in boxes somewhere in the house.
What? No help from the cats?
Nope, I'm unpacking all by myself. But the cats do like to help. They like to jump in the
I will sit
boxes.
on
They like to
this.
sniff everything I take out of the boxes and just,
Yeah.
just be around me. Well, I definitely have opened more boxes than there's more open boxes than there are unopened boxes at this point.
That's good. Cool. So you don't have any other projects to talk about? Well, I have a little bit for Yarny Bits and Bobs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's soap. So my my in-laws were they met up with a well, I was in Ireland with them, but they drove from Dorset. So they spent some time in Wales and took the ferry
That's a
over.
long drive, huh?
Yeah, they did it in days. So they stopped in Wales, and my mother-in-law kindly got me a bit of felted soap by Licorice, handcrafted in Wales. Don't know. I know you've been gifted felted soap by Caroline. Have you used it yet?
No, I gifted Caroline some
Oh,
felted
you
soap.
gave her felted soap. Have you used felted soap before?
No.
I'm curious to actually use it because I haven't used it yet. It smells nice. It's aloe vera and cucumber,
That
but
sounds
I didn't
nice.
realize that. Well, it makes sense, but that the wool will shrink with the soap.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense.
Well, your dad gave me some because it has, it's got wool on it, so I must like it. But it smells really good. It smells like lavender.
um, it is a weird thing though.
I wouldn't want to put it in the guest bath though.
No, no, I would. I mean, I use hand soap or not hand soap, solid bar soap in my showers, so I'll just use it in the shower. But yeah, oops, just dropped it. And they also have some things for a few of our favorite things.
Oh, you do?
hmm Or I don't know if it's go in Nerdtastic or a few of our favorite things because it's film and TV related. I saw The Farewell. So it's a movie starring Awkwafina, written and directed by Lulu Wang, and I remember seeing it on I think Awkwafina's Instagram, like before it went to Sundance and stuff. And so it's an indie film, and I think it has now released sort of like worldwide now, so it's a bit easier to find theaters that are playing it. But I'd been checking for ages, like I couldn't find it. Like the nearest theater was London, and I was like, okay, well, and then it was Glasgow, and then yeah, it released worldwide, so I was able to see it here.
Oh, I want to watch it so bad.
Did you listen to that This American Life episode?
Yeah, I originally heard the story in This American Life, and when the movie started, or at least when they started talking about the movie, I was saying, this sounds familiar. And then later on, I realized it was the same person.
Yeah. Well, so let me just explain. So I rewatched the trailer because I didn't want to explain too much of it. So I've only so I'll only give away what's in the trailer. But essentially, Aquafina plays a Chinese American. I guess she would have come to America as a small child, and she finds out that her grandmother, her Nai, is dying of cancer, and the whole family has decided not to tell her that she's dying of cancer, so that because she's only got 3 weeks or 3 months or something like that to live, and it would be less painful for her not to know. And so they've concocted this whole thing, and her cousin's like getting married, so that the whole family has an excuse to go to China to see her, and her mom tells her that she shouldn't go because she wears her emotions on her face, and it'll just give it away, but she goes anyway, and yeah, so
Did you cry at
oh
all?
my god, I cried so much, and I forgot to bring tissues, and I knew I should have brought tissues. Within the first 10 minutes, I was crying. By the end, I, if I was alone, I would have been howling. Like, I was just like, couldn't breathe because I was trying not to sob out loud. Oh my god. Like, my eyes were puffy the next day. But it's really good. It's really good. And obviously, I think anybody will appreciate and love this movie, but having a nana myself and not I don't I can't speak Chinese or understand it that well. But even just hearing the Chinese and knowing bits of it enough that it just sounds really familiar and it sounds like my family and oh my god. So sad. But really good. Really good.
So yeah, it's actually based on this is actually Lulu Wang's real story.
Yeah, or as the tagline, based on a true lie. The whole concept of not telling people that they're dying in is not
Yeah, in
uncommon.
Asian
So,
cultures.
but possibly the wedding and the yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And there
that's
are
a little
bits
bit
that
over
are
the
are
top.
funny, along with the bits that are very sad, or just not emotional. It's
Uh-huh.
emotion. It's very emotional.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, now I can't wait to see it. All the reviews I've read has been praising Aquafina's performance. What did you think about it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, especially, so obviously, the last big thing she would have done was, she played Peaklin in Crazy Rich Asians, and like this character is so different than that, and also like just her rapping and her comedy in general. Like it's very serious, and she does do a really good job. I think I was saying to Sam, there was one part that didn't hit me the way I think it was meant to, and I think because so much of the movie, the emotions and the sort of background and the setting, that setup of the family, I could relate to so much, and this was one aspect that I couldn't relate to, so maybe that's why it didn't hit me the way it should have done. Was she's speaking to her mom and she's getting emotional because she's talking about her experience having gone to America as a young kid, and then being so far away from her whole life back in China, from her family in China, from the
Mm.
house in Beijing, and seeing that her parents were always afraid as well, and she didn't know what was going on, and they didn't tell her anything, and that was a really emotional scene, but I didn't get as emotional. But I think because like that, I can't relate to that. Like I was born and raised in America, my family is all in America, and that idea was so much more foreign to me than everything else, than having the nine eye and loving your nine eye
So
and
does
stuff like that.
Aquafina speak Mandarin in it?
Yeah, yes, she's yeah, she the mo there is English in the movie, but a lot of it is in Chinese and it's subtitled, and she speaks Mandarin with her family, and it's acknowledged that like her and her cousin don't really her cousin I think he says one sentence in Chinese, but because he lives in Japan, she acknowledged like there's bits where she doesn't know the Chinese word and she has to ask her dad in English what the word for whatever. So I can't gauge, but she's not meant to, she's meant to speak like she's Chinese American.
Or
Yeah.
Chinglish? You think it's
Uh-huh.
still playing?
I think it's probably still playing. Okay, well, if you're in the UK, it may well still be playing around you, and I definitely recommend it. And just bring some tissues.
So, shall we cut this short?
Yeah, because we don't want you to have to sit in front of McDonald's looking like a weirdo with your headphones talking to nobody for too much longer.
Well, I am a weirdo, I admit it.
Okay, well, I'll just jump straight into the spiel then. You can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Instagram at kcacypodcast. My personal Instagram is Allison here. My mom's personal Instagram is upstate_Viv. As well, make sure to follow us or subscribe on iTunes or on YouTube or wherever else you listen to us if you're listening to the audio podcast version. And you can also join our Ravelry group. Just search for Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast in the group tab. So remember to... Nope. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn.